So I was working on a completely different video, then got blindsided with the news of Mystery Booster 2 and had to stop and make a video about it. Mystery Booster is a weird product. It's a mix of old cards and weird playtest cards that fall very firmly in the realm of uncards. This means that the set includes a mix of legal cards and illegal cards, which makes it actually really similar to Unfinity, except Unfinity was largely disliked as far as I can tell. The main difference is that all the reprints are all in-universe serious reprints, and the silly cards are very distinct and separate from the rest of them. The aesthetic that they use for it makes it very clear that these cards are just for fun. None of these playtest cards bring their silly aesthetic into, quote, real Magic. Whereas with the uncards, when they started making legal ones in Unfinity, they bridged that gap. The silly world of Unfinity was on a legal card. The way these cards add spice to a draft, but are otherwise just fun jokes mixed in with regular Magic cards, makes them work for a lot of players. They can be a glimpse into what could maybe be real one day to some people, and just a joke to others. The way they tend to be jokes rooted in the culture of Magic and not just wouldn't it be funny if there was a card that was a mime or whatever, both make them more acceptable to a lot of players and better jokes a lot of the time. For the record, I really enjoyed Unfinity, and I'm just waiting for the next unset, but in a way, Mystery Booster is more real than an unset ever has been. Because even though nothing on a Mystery Booster card represents something true from Magic's lore, it's presented as if it is. It's like played straight. Unsets take us to a new universe with its own rules and locations and characters, not rooted in Magic at all. Sure, you get the occasional references, but the world itself is very separate. It's kind of like a living secret layer in a weird way, even though it's a secret layer of a franchise that Wizards owns. Mystery Booster, on the other hand, the cards are all incredibly rooted in Magic's world. They're alternate versions or what-if scenarios, or actually they're really similar to the Imagine Critters effect from Bloomborough, where they were just real actual cards, but the art was different. What I've always liked about the unsets, or at least unsets starting at Unsanctioned, is that they're actually designed for play. They're not just jokes. You can rule zero anything into your games, but if a card was designed with balance in mind, it makes it much easier. If I wanted to run a card from the original unset, they're not intended to be balanced play pieces ready for play to interact with the rest of the game. But Unsanctioned and Unfinity, even the ones that aren't legal, are designed for that. They were designed to be drafted and played with each other, and by extension, the rest of Magic, at least to some extent. I wonder where these new cards from Mystery Booster 2 are going to fall. They're labeled as playtest cards, so we can't really treat them as balanced, but they're also cards designed to be played within a limited environment, so they might not be too out there. Are they actually playtest cards that haven't been balanced at all? Or are these draft 4, 5, 6 of these cards that we're actually going to get to play with? And if so, is that balanced enough for your table beyond the scope of a limited game of Mystery Booster 2? As we learn more about the set, I'm going to be collecting the most interesting cards I can find to talk about in future videos. I've often stood on the belief that using Rule 0 to run illegal cards is a big ask in Magic. But running an illegal commander is actually pretty easy. Everyone can look at the card before the game starts and approve it. You don't have to dig through your entire deck and approve every illegal card one at a time. So that's what I'm going to be looking for mostly. Cards that could be a commander if you choose to Rule 0 them in, and ones that would be fun and interesting and feel fair from a design perspective. Rating Magic cards is interesting, because it really is just about how strong they are, but rating a custom Magic card is about how well designed and balanced it is, based on the precedent set by official cards. These cards and how I review them is going to fall between those two perspectives, making them especially interesting to me. I don't actually know yet, at the time of recording this, how many cards from Mystery Booster 2 we've seen. I'm so used to the spoiler season schedule of hype for several months, trickle of new cards, but people have played with these cards at Gen Con. So we'll have to see what is out there that's worth talking about. So far, I've seen the Ren in 1 card, which reimagines Ren as a baby, basically. And she's a baby that's a planeswalker, which I really doubt the implications that she literally was a planeswalker from birth, but there's something very, very cool about baby planeswalker. It makes me think of like Muppet Babies, where baby is an aesthetic. It's not actually intended to be the past of these characters. It's a weird alternate reality where the version that they are that we know has just been kind of shrunk down and doesn't have the same life experiences. And I'm actually really excited to try and design my own Planeswalker Babies style cards. Could be really cool, could be really fun. Obviously it's not gonna make sense, but like, this is Mystery Booster. It doesn't need to make sense.